Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to take a short break from shooting and we're going to talk about business and accounting and economics and finance and stuff like that. The subject I want to focus on is the trade that we do with China. Okay, now there's been a trade deficit with China going back 40, 50 years, and that doesn't make sense because that doesn't seem to be sustainable over a long period of time unless there's something else going on in the background. Okay, now as an accountant, I worked as a chief financial officer for import-export companies, and I can tell you that we always make a profit. Okay, if we're not going to make a profit, we're not going to do business with China. Okay, so there's something else going on there. Now a lot of times people think that it's the cheap labor. Okay, we're doing business with China because it's cheaper to buy products there. Because the labor is cheaper in China, and that's not accurate because the labor in South America is even cheaper. Okay, I mean, especially if you look at places like Venezuela, that's basically having a meltdown. I mean, I'm going to skip Mexico because Mexico isn't even that bad compared to other places. Let's say like Panama, El Salvador, all these other countries that you have in South America and Central America. Where you could actually get labor a lot cheaper than you would get it in China. Okay. The other factor is that it is extremely expensive to ship things to the United States from China. Okay, and most of the cargo ships that we have today, they're so large that they can't even go. They cannot even go through the Panama Canal. So they have to go all the way around. South America, all the way around Argentina, and come up to the United States that way, or they'll go to California, in which case all that stuff's got to be shipped across the United States by rail car and so forth. So shipping things from China is extremely expensive, and unless you're doing a huge volume. Many times it can, the shipping costs can be more expensive than the products themselves. Okay, we're not saving labor costs because if it was a matter of saving labor costs, we could just go to Central or South America. We're certainly not saving on shipping costs. So there's something else that has been driving people, businesses, to do business with China for the last 40 years, and that is basically tax savings. Okay, so here's the thing. If I'm doing business, in South America or in Mexico or Brazil or anyone, Bolivia, any one of these countries, okay, and I have a secret bank account down there for my corporation where I'm hiding money so I can't pay taxes, okay, the United States government has enough influence, okay, to be able to go and get all that information. Okay, they can do that. If I'm hiding money in China, okay, or if I was hiding money, let's say in Russia, the same would apply, but we haven't gone the Russia course, we've gone the China course, so far. If I'm hiding money in China, okay, the United States does not have the power and influence to go and just get that information, and likewise, it's not in China's interest to cooperate with the United States in that sense. Okay, so the reason why people and companies, and we're talking about, it's not just the big corporations, it's the little corporations too. It's companies that do $2-3 million a year are doing it as well. The companies that print these shirts, the gym shirts that I usually wear, they came from China. Okay, so all these things they come from China, but it's not it's not just because it's cheaper to get it there. What's happening is that when we buy something from China, okay, what a lot of these companies do is they actually set up a middleman company, okay, and the way the Chinese banks, the way the Chinese system works is if you want to create a Chinese corporation as an American, basically you have to go into a partnership with a Chinese national, somebody that's from China. So basically you got to partner up with a Chinese guy, okay, and then you can make you can be a partner in a Chinese corporation. Okay, so that corporation is now inside of China. Okay, and basically you open up a Chinese account because now you have a Chinese corporation. Okay, and now what happens is this Chinese corporation that you are now a partner of, Okay, they're the ones that do the buying for you. Okay, so what they're gonna do is they're gonna, you know, if you're whatever product you happen to be buying, let's say you're buying, you know, clothes, okay, shirts, whatever. Okay, you know, if they buy something inside of China, let's say for $1, okay, all right, so they buy it for $1, and they, you know, now you know, it's being held by your Chinese, you know, your own company, which you own in China, okay. And what happens once it's inside this corporation, now you are going to sell it to your other corporation in the United States. So you're basically selling it to yourself from one corporation to another. Okay. So when you sell it, you know, you bought it for $1, you moved it into this corporation that you own, which is inside of China. Now what you're going to do is you're going to turn around, you're going to basically sell that to your U.S. corporation. You're going to sell it for $9. Okay. You're going to sell it for $9 to your own corporation in the United States. And then you're going to turn around and sell $10 to the public. Okay, so you're making, you know, basically your U.S. corporation is showing that you bought that shirt for $9 and you're selling it for $10 and you made a $1 profit. Okay, meanwhile your corporation inside of China, which you're a partner of, okay, you know, basically that corporation has made a, you know, an $8 profit. Okay, so that's the reason why. You know, we do so much business in China. Okay, it has nothing to do with cheap labor. It has to do with hiding profits and not paying taxes. You know, which is basically the pursuit of every businessman in the United States. Okay, let's be upfront. Let's be honest here. Now, President Trump, okay, as a businessman, knows all this. Okay, he knows the same things I know. You know, he knows all this thing. He's been doing business. So the way that you stop this, okay, the way you break this is basically you take away the incentive to do business, you know, in that fashion. And the way he's done this is basically, you know, last year he changed the tax law, okay, you know, with the Republican Congress that, you know, that was in control of Congress. They changed the tax law, reducing the corporate tax rate from 35% to 21%. Okay, so that takes away some of the incentive to do business that way, okay? Because your tax savings are no longer that much, okay? And the lower and lower your corporate tax rate is, the less and less incentive people have to try and beat the system, because it costs money to beat the system, okay? And any businessman is basically going to look at something like this logically. Does it cost me more? You know, does it save me money to cheat on my taxes? Or is it just cheap enough to just pay the taxes? Okay, so as tax rates go lower and lower, the incentive to try and beat the system is also lower and lower. You know, so that's what's going on with the international trade, and the reason why we do so much business with China. It has nothing to do with the cheap labor rates. You know, I mean, yes, that's probably a factor, but like I said earlier in this video, you can find other places in the world that have much cheaper labor. South America, you know, Central America, Africa. I mean, you know, you can get cheap labor in other places of the world. So there's something else going on there, and I just told you what it is. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.